Welcome back to Sun Devil Extra, and it's time for our guest of the day. And we've had a bunch of really cool guests on this show. We've been very lucky to be joined by coaches, student athletes, but we have yet to be joined by a first-round draft pick of his or her respective sport. Here's Cullen Potter from Arizona State Hockey, first-round draft pick of the Calgary Flames this past June. First off, Cullen, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, of course. It's an honor to be here with you guys.
So congratulations. What a summer it was. I think I ask, our student athletes on this show, how was your summer so many times? I think I know the answer to the question for you, but, how was it, man? That's got to be something that you dreamed of for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'll say is just extremely busy. Just like, combine and the draft and camps and all that stuff. It was really busy, but I mean, it was like you said, a dream come true. You've worked your whole life to get to this point, so it was a really fun summer, but it was definitely busy for sure.
Draft night in Los Angeles. You're sitting there. Pick number 32 is there, final pick of the first round. I know Sun Devil fans were hoping to hear your name called. Obviously, you're there. You get the call. Take me through that moment. What was it like?
I said this right after I got drafted. It's kind of just like a speechless moment. I think a lot of kids say that, and it really is. Like I said, you've worked your whole life to get to that moment, and then for it to finally happen, and it to be passed is just like you're just so excited. Like you don't even know what to say. So yeah, I had a lot of fun that night, and saw all of my friends get drafted, and it was a really cool experience to see. Growing up playing against kids, and now we're drafted in the NHL. So it's a really cool experience.
Do you even remember walking on stage, or is that just like?
Yeah, no, I definitely remember walking on stage.
Okay,
that was cool,
good.
But I mean, so many eyes on you, you kind of just blank out. You're up there smiling. I mean, it's just pure joy.
Really awesome stuff, and I think it was a historic moment, obviously, for this program, and something that we'll talk about around here for a very long time. Let's talk about your first year in Tempe, though, as a Sun Devil. 13 goals, 22 points, and 35 games played. And obviously, those stats are great, but this was a team that made strides the first year. Obviously with you in the maroon and gold. So when you look back on that first year under Greg Powers and in this program, what can you kind of reflect on?
I think the biggest thing is just the growth throughout the year. Coming as a 17-year-old in college hockey, it's hard, especially in the NCHC. It's a strong, fast league. So, I was lucky enough to have a lot of older guys on the team last year. So I think they definitely showed me the way a little bit. And, like I said, throughout the year, I feel like you could definitely see how I improved my game in a lot of areas. So, I had a really fun year, and, I wish we would have gone further, but I mean, I still think we had a great year, and, this year coming up, I'm really excited for the opportunity.
You mentioned some of those older guys, Sillinger and Schlein being a couple for sure, fifth-year guys that were able to kind of take you under their wing, I should say, and guide you through that first year. How big was that for you?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, just having guys, tell you what to do in certain moments, and help me just not stay down on myself, because like I said, coming as a 17-year-old, you're not going to succeed right away or be amazing right away, but just the constant support from not only the players but the coaching staff too, just super helpful down the line in the season.
Obviously, we're not quite there yet, but I'm sure you've thought about this, especially over the last couple of months. But when you're on NHL ice, whenever that time does come, how cool is that going to be to rep, especially ASU, right? Obviously, we've got a couple of guys, Joey Decord, Josh Doan, that are already up there making a big name in the league. But to rep a new program, be the tradition right behind us on this wall here, and you're one of those first names that we're getting to see not only drafted in the first round, being the first of that, but an NHL player in general. How cool is that going to be?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I mean, I still got a long way to go.
Sure.
And, a lot of things to improve on, but, to just have the opportunity to maybe one day be able to step out on the ice is really cool. So I'm really excited to, see what I can do this year and, hopefully play for the Flames one day.
You mentioned things to improve on, and obviously, off-season is right in the thick of it, but the season just around the corner now. What are some of those things that you really tried to highlight this year on and improving?
I think the biggest thing is just, being physical, and, like I said, if I want to play in the NHL, I need to improve on things, and that's definitely one of them. NHL is a lot of big, old, strong guys, so I got to hold my own there, and just scoring in general too. Offensively, just continue to work on bearing on the chances I have, and with my speed, stopping and starting too. But I think, like I said, I got better at all of those things down the line this past season. So just continue to improve on it this season. I think I always improve, throughout the season. So
Sure.
I'm really excited for the season.
So as you just said, you improved as the year went on, and I think fans could see that, right? The growth, the maturity level of getting used to the speed of college hockey. Was there a moment, maybe last season, whether it was a game, a practice, a time of the season, where you were like, okay, I think I've gotten this up to speed a bit more now?
I think the biggest turning point was probably when we swept Denver at Denver. Just playing against them, I was super excited to go, and national champions, undefeated, like. Just going in there, I just wanted to, kill them, honestly. And luckily, we went in there, we played really well, we swept them. So I think from that point on, I really had a lot of confidence in myself and the group of guys too. So past that point, I just think I just kept improving more and more and more. Especially, I think, Western Michigan probably could have been my best weekend of the year. And, that was also another team I was really looking forward to play. They're one of the best teams in the country. So, I think I step up in big moments, and I'm really excited for Penn State this opener.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome in early October, and we talk about that with Graham as well in the first segment. But I'm curious. You mentioned Denver, and I'm glad you did, because sometimes when you enter a new conference, you don't necessarily have set rivals. There are some new moments of familiarity that have to be acquired. Seems like you guys became acquainted pretty quickly. There's no love lost now between ASU and Denver. What were those matchups like?
Intense. I mean, they're a really fast, skilled team. I think we were too last year, so we had a really good matchup against them. And I guess I just heard a lot about the team playing them in past years too. Yeah. So I think they're definitely, maybe a new conference, but there's still some blood in the water, you could say. So like I said, I was just super excited to play them, and playing against other guys like Bulliam and stuff. I was, he's in the NHL now, so being able to play against like that is a really cool experience as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that playing against Denver in years past. The flame was already lit, but then when you join a conference and you play each other even more, it's like you put lighter fluid on it. So it became very, very intense. Moving on to this year's roster, obviously a couple of Team USA guys that are coming in and joining the fold with you, Ben and Lincoln. They're going to be big names to monitor, and obviously you're familiar with them. What should fans expect from those two guys specifically?
Yeah, Ben's just a really skilled forward. I love playing with him. Moves the puck well, can score, put the puck in the net. So and Link's just a good lockdown, solid defender. So I've grown up playing against them and playing with them. So it's really cool to have the opportunity to play with them here.
This is Cullen Potter is a guy that obviously is very talented on the ice, but he might be the second best hockey player in his family. I'm sure you've heard this many times, but if you don't know, if you're unfamiliar, his mom it might be the GOAT, probably is the GOAT, right? Team USA hockey on the women's side. Unbelievable stuff. We'll take you through some of the stats here. 4 Olympic medals, all-time leading scorer for Team USA on the women's side of things. So I'm curious, and your dad's obviously also involved in the game a lot. Earliest hockey memory, do you have one?
I think just the main thing I think about is just going to the outdoor rinks, honestly, with both my parents. That's probably my favorite thing to do in the whole world. Growing up in Minnesota, hockey's, a huge thing there, sure. The state of hockey. So just going out to outdoor rinks, playing pickup and, just passing around with my parents is probably one of the earliest memories I have. And, like I said, it's my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
That's pretty cool when your passion is also something you excel at, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's something that you're lucky enough to have. One more thing in terms of the family dynamic, and I know your parents are really close. They come to pretty much every game, right?
Yeah, they came to most games last year. Yeah,
okay, so when a good game happens, a bad game happens, what's that conversation like with your parents after?
I'm a lot older now, so I think they've definitely, leaned back a little bit more now. It's all up to me. But, like conversations here and there, like, you could have held on to the puck a little bit more here. And, they're my parents, but, they also know hockey really well. So, just little comments here and there, but, I'm the one driving the boat, and, they know that, so they just let me play. And, what they've taught me before in my life, they know I know how to play. So, it's pretty easy to have them in my life and have them be able to tell me some things and, let some things go too. So I'm just super thankful to have them in my life.
Yeah, it's really awesome that you get to experience that. I'm sure you've heard this stat in the last one for you. Now, with your draft pick being in the first round by Calgary, ASU now has produced first-round draft pick in the NHL, obviously, MLB, NFL, NBA, and WNBA. So 5 major sports in America. We have a first-round draft pick in all of them. But specifically with this program, right, and the growth, We talked about this hallway being brand new, and this building obviously being first class. How high is the ceiling for this program?
I don't think there really is a ceiling. Like, they have everything here that you could ever want in the program, facility-wise, campus-wise, schooling-wise. There really is no ceiling, I don't think, and I think you kind of can see that just from where the program started to now and how fast they've grown. This place can be, one of the strongest teams in college hockey every single year. And, I think starting last year, we already are, and years before that. So I think just from there, it's just going to keep getting better.
Statement in year one of the NCHC hopefully carries over into year two and a big year to come for this guy especially. Cullen, thanks a lot for joining us today, man. And obviously a great first year, a great summer for you, but I know you're ready to get going in this season as well.
Yeah, can't wait. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We'll be back to wrap things up with Graham Rossini when we come back on Sunday Election.